No, I got a lot of respect for Rebecca Black managing to milk her 15 minutes of fame properly.
How did she do that?
By releasing the worst music video ever.
Okay. Okay, that's live. I'm going to opening titles. Now.
Good evening,
hello,
and welcome to
Those
Video Guys
and Girl.
And girl.
For today.
Video guys, girls, everybody. We're all inclusive and very PC here. This is
Rachel Wood.
Rachel Wood, who some of you may recognise her from two videos we've got on our channel right now. Those Video Guys at the MCM Expo. Rachel's interviewing plenty of cosplayers.
Yeah, that was an interesting experience. That was my first cosplay event.
Yeah. And then also our set report from Blood and Bone China.
Home of Stoke-on-Trent. Well, Blood and Bone China from Stoke-on-Trent, which is where I'm from. And
you've died on Blood and Bone China as a character.
I did. I died in Chapter 11 and spent the rest of Chapter 12 on the floor, still dead.
So, now that you've actually seen what it's like, are you going to take up doing some cosplaying yourself?
Oh, I don't know. It takes a lot of effort. These guys
who would you dress up as?
Who would I dress up as? It would have to be someone from Lord of the Rings.
Right.
So I'm going to go with Arwen. Is that an obvious choice?
Not necessarily. So you're Lord of the Rings fan then?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Big one. All the way.
Very excited for The Hobbit then, are you?
Oh, yeah. Watching Peter Jackson's video diaries. Have you been watching those?
No.
Anybody? No, they're really good. He releases sort of 10-minute video diaries every now and then, and they're really good. Behind the scenes look, you know.
So, anyway.
Well, we're supposed to be getting a trailer around December for The Hobbit.
Oh, cool.
So
really?
I'm really excited.
That'll get like about 10 million hits immediately.
It will, absolutely.
Anyway, as Rachel's new to Those Video Guys, thought you might want to get hold of her Twitter. Follow her on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. Follow Elazar on Twitter. There's our tweets.
I'm at Alicab, at Rachie Liz, and at Sean Harry.
Yep.
And of course, our Those Video Guys social networks.
We are conquering every form of social network on the internet.
Google Plus is gplus.to/tvgtv, which is now an official Google Plus page for Those Video Guys. Ustream, of course, you're probably watching on Ustream. User YTV. YouTube.com/Those Video Guys TV. Twitter at Those Video Guys. Facebook.com/Those Video Guys. And www.thosevideoguystv for everything on the net.
Do we have a MySpace page?
We don't have a MySpace page.
Oh, fail.
Sean will be monitoring our Twitter account on the iPad. So at Those Video Guys, you can tweet in as well as obviously chat to us in the chat room on Ustream and YouTube.
The Invention Show on Twitter has just come out and said that they love Peter Jackson's video diaries.
There you go.
Well, I really loved the extras on Lord of the Rings DVDs because the whole production process, which they completely dissected in every respect, was just quite fascinating. It was not your usual, usually it's like a 20-minute Hollywood made, marketing made, and everything's made, but it's like this was really nitty gritty. This is really how they did actually do the making of. Yeah,
that's what these videos, I mean, it's Peter Jackson himself walks around on set with a camera, as if he doesn't have enough to do, filming The Hobbit, walks around with a camera, interviews.
And of course, at the same time, they were making Tintin as well. Yeah. With Steven Spielberg in the studio.
Which was also written by Doctor Who's Stephen Moffat.
Indeed. Yeah. And of course, they're doing a live link up on a webcam to Peter Jackson, who, while he's in the middle of organising The Hobbit, then disappears off into a corner, gets on the live and starts talking to Hollywood about the making of Tintin. He must not sleep. How does he do it?
Inconceivable multitasking, that's what it is.
Sean, I know the big news for you is the return of Rebecca Black this week on YouTube. Person of Interest, a brand new single. I'm sure we've got Rebecca Black fans in the chat room. Dave and Tom, hello. Elizabeth Oriana, hello. There's look, Elizabeth on out. Yay, Rachel.
Yay.
Well, the thing you've got to give Rebecca Black is the fact that she was given this 15 minutes of fame when this appalling, and she's not the reason it's bad, it's just badly directed, badly written, badly put together. But as the star of the music video, she became the object of the ire and the attack on it. But she's actually, whether it's her or family or whoever, but she's actually been very smart in how she's managed to market this 15 minutes of fame. And if we never hear from her again, you know, in 12 months' time or whatever, I'm sure she's already made a very nice sum of cash.
Indeed. Well, David,
to make it easier.
Dave
for the
and
rest
Tom
of her
in the
life.
Ustream chat room says, "Never has 15 minutes felt so long."
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Oriana's pointing out the Person of Interest is also a new TV series by J.J. Abrams.
It is,
Yeah.
yes.
So this might be perhaps the theme tune.
I somehow doubt it.
Well, you know what? We've got the lyrics printed out here. Shall we just read them out for our adoring fans?
Sure.
So here we are, Rebecca Black's Person of Interest, as read out to you from those video guides.
I think we should read it out like William Shatner.
When you talk, I listen, I like that.
When you listen, I smile, and I like that.
Why are you looking at me just like that?
I like that.
I like that.
that.
There's a crime scene on the dance floor.
Ring the alarm.
Police tape up the front door.
And you are?
A person of interest. A
person of interest.
Can't say I'm in love yet, but certainly impressed.
You are a person of interest.
A person of interest.
Can't say that it's love yet, but someone's obsessed.
When we're dancing real close, think I like you.
But when the lights go down low, I can't find you.
No, I can't get you out of my mind. Yeah.
It's a crime. Yeah.
There's a chalk line on the dance floor.
In the shape of my heart. Crime scene tape on the front door. Oh my
And
God,
you
there's
are-
We're
more.
doing the whole
A
thing.
person of interest. A person of interest. Can't say I'm love yet, but certainly impressed.
You're a person of interest.
A person of interest. Can't say that it's love yet, but somebody's obsessed.
Can't deny implicated in the mayhem
in
in
my
my
mind.
mind.
What has got me so frustrated?
Frustrated.
You should be mine. You should be mine.
There's a crime scene on the dance floor.
Ring the alarm.
Police tape on the front door.
And you are?
A person of interest. A person of interest. Can't say I'm in love yet,
but certainly impressed.
You're a person of interest. A person of interest. Can't say that it's love yet,
but
but
somebody's
somebody's
obsessed.
God, I lost
Wow.
interest as we
Wow.
were singing that one out.
Actually, they are better lyrics than her last song.
Well, you know,
No, they're just
but at
bland as opposed to...
that's the thing. It's not a really good follow-up for her. I mean, she's got all the momentum. People thought, oh, she did a really bad song. Hopefully she'll improve. But actually, she's just come up with an even worse song.
But didn't she write the first one herself?
No, it was off the
No.
shelf and given to her by the record company.
Less impressed then. Less impressed.
I bet whoever wrote that was pretty glad when it got picked up for Glee.
David Tom said.
saying.
David Tom said there's a crime scene in the music business as well.
There always is, and it's usually being perpetrated by Simon Cowell.
Miss Michaels is asking, darling Marilyn Michaels is asking, are you gents single? Well, I'm not. I'm married. But
I'm single. Yeah.
She's going to make a trip. What do you say? He's waiting for your call,
Yeah.
Miss Michaels. He's waiting
Wait
for
for
your
any call.
You're a person of interest.
Yeah.
A person of interest. So, videos this week.
And then we've got the Hall of Fame, is it?
Well, we're now asking our guests to bring with them a Hall of Fame nominee video.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rachel, for the Hall of Fame, this is our video Hall of Fame. What have you picked for us?
This week in my Hall of Fame is a Potter's Puppet Pals video. It's called A Mysterious Ticking Noise.
And this had 115 million views.
115 million views, but for good reason. Sean here has not seen the video.
No, I haven't.
Well, we'll show you a clip and then we'll discuss it.
What is that mysterious ticking noise? over here, not over there. Kind of catchy. Snipe, snipe, Severus Snape, 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 Severus Snape,
Dumbledore!
Snape,
It's very catchy.
Severus Snape,
Dumbledore!
Snape.
There you go. There's a little snippet, and I know you're just dying to watch the rest of it.
Well, I think because what you were saying is that you actually can now recite this entire sketch.
Oh yeah, yeah. With friends, mainly with my little sister.
Yeah. But you know it off by heart completely.
Off by heart, and you can do it with a group of friends. You can do it with two of you. There's duos.
There's actually something that you will notice on YouTube videos though, that if you look at they always say what's most popular. It's usually like cat videos or dog videos or animation. But also when you dig down on YouTube videos, what's also hugely popular is anything Harry Potter.
Absolutely.
And I'm wondering about Harry Potter, this huge cult following that it's got. But I also think it's because, you know, you have a lot of young people using Twitter, YouTube and everything. So, but it just seems to me, if you do a Harry Potter video and if you do a smart one, it's going to get big ratings.
Well, this was a video that became very popular. It's basically launched a whole website and a whole series of the Potter Puppet Pals. As you were saying, you can recite it off by heart. My wife's friends at university, at Middlesex University, all the students can recite this video off by heart as well. I mean, it really is a phenomenon for a particular age group who have been brought up on Harry Potter, I would say.
So how many people can recite "It's Friday, Friday"?
I think you know, if we had YouTube in the 80s, you'd have had the Star Wars Puppet Pals,
course,
and
yes.
you and I would have been able to recite them off by heart as well. So it is, you know, it's Harry Potter is to this generation what Star Wars was to us, and you can see why it's very popular on YouTube. Have you watched all the other videos?
I haven't watched all of them, I don't think, because they do keep producing more.
Yeah.
But I have seen the others, and they're not as catchy as this one. See, this one is a
It's
whole
the song.
medley of impressions, and I
Right.
think one of the main things is everyone loves a good Alan Rickman impression. Everyone loves a good Snape impression, and they do it quite well, and that's one of the appeals, I think.
Yes, no, it's. I was introduced to this some months back from Lisa, who'd basically all her friends had been at uni. Like I said, had just knew this sketch, and they would just recite it in class or whenever. You know, it's a very popular video. So, Rachel, we like to give 1, 2, or 3 martinis to our videos.
Oh,
So it's a Hall of Fame. It's your favourite video of all time.
Yeah.
But I think
great.
Rachel would be very. So I'm going to give it 1.
I haven't even seen it. Sean doesn't count.
Well, I like it. I've enjoyed it, and I have seen some of the others. You can see why it's a popular channel. It's fun. It's funny, and you know.
I think one of the reasons why it's probably got it's also 150 million. I'm sure from what you're saying, a lot of people go
Just
back
watch it and watch it again.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, maybe it's only 20 people who've just watched it like a million times.
And I'm talking about stuff that you watch and rewatch again. Let's go to the animation station, because this time we're looking at somebody I love a lot, the work of Harry Partridge.
Harry Partridge.
What happened to your game as it seems somewhere along the way? You turned from doing good and so now evil's holding sway. Rhythm games and fitness games and even cooking sims.
What else are we to do?
Fight the fight in old Skyrim.
Skyrim?
Beyond the frozen tundra lies the homeland of the Lords, where radiant stories bloom and you can do wield magic and swords. Use perks just like in Fallout, defend the family that you've reared. Kill dragons just by shouting.
I think Harry must be very excited about the latest Elder Scrolls
Well,
game.
this is now his second Skyrim
yes.
Influenced video.
Well, this one comes out the week that Skyrim launches
Yes,
on Xbox and PlayStation 3 and PC, and it's probably going to be actually going to be competition between this and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 over what's going to be the
Game of the year.
biggest game of the year.
Isn't Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 just guaranteed to be the biggest selling one?
Probably, but I'd rather Skyrim'd it. You know, one of them is sort of like artistically slightly better, in my opinion.
I tell you what, when you see the numbers that get generated by computer games, you just think, God, we're all in the wrong business, really. You know, 400 million for Call of Duty on the first 24 hours or something.
Of sale in North America alone.
It's
Wow.
incredible.
Yeah.
You know, a blockbuster movie would just die to have the numbers that the video games do.
Yeah.
Why would that be, do you think? Why more game than movies?
One thing with games, so you've got to remember, it's what, £40-50 to buy a game, whereas it's £10 to go see a film. Plus, generally, you find with a game like with a lot of games, it really is like even worse than it is with the Hollywood box office, of all the sales coming in the opening weekend and then dying after that. But
Harry Partridge, I think, is always very clever. He comes up with these animations which are, you know, they're always spot on. They're always very clever, always aimed at a particular audience. You know, video games audience in this particular one.
yeah,
You know, he does the animation, but he also sings and performs his own songs on them as well. You know, that's a talented animator. I mean, most animators, you know, they do the drawings, somebody else is doing the acting, somebody else is doing the directing. He's doing all of this, you know. He's a very talented guy. He's actually been picked up recently by a UK web channel called Channel Flip, and they're going to be hopefully doing a web series from this guy. Check out his stuff. Stephen the Lesbian, I think we reviewed some weeks back. Do you remember that one? I mean, hilarious. He's very funny.
I'm wondering how quick his turnout is, though, as an animator, though, because it does seem
he doesn't. Well, he's not doing a video a week. He's doing a video every now and then.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, it's maybe once every couple of months you can get a new video. I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's. But I think with Skyrim, he just timed this one quite well. The first Skyrim parody he did, he actually brought
Huge
out
numbers.
just as I think the same
trailer.
week as the trailer had come out.
And he was getting bigger hits than the
Right.
trailer did.
Yeah, he got bigger hits than the official Skyrim trailer because it was that popular. Brilliant stuff. I mean, we love him here on this channel, and
I say 3 martinis.
3 martinis for the Song of Skyrim. And long may Harry Partridge keep making videos. Comedy of the week.
Yes, and here we move on to the insane staring contest.
Staring.
Yeah. The insane staring contest by Shay Carl.
Sounds easy
That's
enough.
youtube.com/SHAYCAR.
Doesn't matter what you do, I am not gonna blink.
Oh, yeah? Dad, we're eating chocolate for dinner! Dad, I'm making dinner! Dad, I'm doing the laundry!
Shay Carl there and his kids who have been growing up on YouTube.
Yeah, amazing. This guy's got so many hits on his videos. How many? 1 million subscribers to his channel where you just watch his kids growing up in these videos.
It's a comedy channel. They've just become a living sitcom, this family, Shay Carl. I mean, we've not actually reviewed Shay Carl before, actually, although he's appeared in cartoon form on I think it's Cybertoons' cartoons when he did all the YouTubers. So we've and we did have a brief appearance of him on our video from VidCon. But Shay Carl, it's, you know, when I first watched him about a year ago, I just thought, I don't understand what this is about. It's just a dad and his kids. Why is this kind of funny? But this one, you kind of get a sense now. This is now a real life sitcom comedy family, and it was quite charming.
Yeah, there's something quite natural about it. I mean, I was particularly impressed. This is the first week that I've discovered him.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed with how professional the video was, how professionally it seemed to be filmed and put together.
Yeah.
And although it's hard to believe that this is a genuine family situation, there is something still quite natural about it.
This particular sketch is a staring contest, and it just gets more outrageous as it goes along, as the kids just basically try to force the dad to blink. Comments in the chat room. Sean, Sloopy John asks, why does Sean have a goatee like a 60s Klingon?
Because it's basically because I've decided to become influenced by 60s Klingons. Next week I'll be coming on with a gold sash just here, and I'll be saying kapla a lot.
On the subject of Shay Carl, Miss Michael says they're like the Truman Show with kids. And she also says, I love facial hair. There you go.
So, Elazar, when you and your missus have kids, will you record it all on YouTube?
No, but when I get a new cat, I certainly will.
Okay.
Speaking of actually recording your kids and putting them on YouTube.
Yeah.
Charlie Bit My Finger. You've seen this video, yeah? Surely?
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Bit My Finger.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my Hall of Fames. I chose Potter Puppet Pals over Charlie Bit My Finger.
Well, Charlie Bit My Finger is actually the most popular YouTube video of all time, which isn't a music video or Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
And that family who put this 30-second clip of one kid biting the finger of the other and the kid complaining.
Yeah.
They've now earned £100,000 from that video.
Wow. How? From
the amount of hits it's had. It's had hundreds of millions of hits. It's one of, like I said, it's like the biggest. It's the biggest non-music video ever on YouTube, and it's earned their family $150,000, folks.
Well, there's the other one of. Is it David after the dentist? Someone after the dentist, the little kid coming around from his anaesthetic. It's just you can't act this thing. It's pure natural comedy. These children say and do these things, and people like to see everyday lives.
They do, and these parents now said they've now got a trust fund for their kids to make sure they go through university.
That's a good way to
if they can get 150,000 just from one video, I think they can make more. I think they could give them enough so they don't need to work for the rest of their lives.
I don't know. American universities are pretty expensive, so.
No, this is British. It's a British video, isn't it?
Oh,
Charlie Bit My Finger.
Of course,
yeah,
of course.
It's definitely UK.
There we go then.
So Miss Michael says, "Congrats to them." So did we rate Shay Carl? I don't think we have yet, have we? Shay Carl's insane staring. I really enjoyed it. What the parents have got to do is try and work some way of getting their kids to have a life-threatening disease and have to go into hospital. The kind of like drama that's going to generate and people watching. Well, every day updates from the hospital.
I mean, God, just imagine the amount.
Then
of
it
money
really will be the Truman Show, then, won't it?
People like to be entertained, not depressed.
And then with the funeral, but people get addicted. It's car crash TV. I mean,
Shay Carl, it's not for everybody's cup of tea. This was a particularly fun one. I'd probably say 2 martinis.
I'd go with 2 martinis.
I think it's quite well done. It's very well done for a home video.
So, let's go to our caught on camera. Always a very good. We have things like the pranks.
And this one is the Best Buy uniform prank.
This is the Best Buy uniform prank. Yes. So the story of this one, Improv Everywhere, very popular YouTube channel. Best Buy have a uniform, car keys and a blue polo shirt. They've just given a whole bunch of random people car keys and a blue polo shirt. They just walk into Best Buy, just mill around, look like you're doing something useful. If someone asks you a question, just be polite and help them, and just be confusing to all the real employees. You can't understand why suddenly 10 employees in a shop suddenly become like 200. They get very concerned, and they even call the police, and the police do have to point out to them, well, we can't arrest someone for wearing a blue polo neck.
It's such a simple idea, but it's so effective, and in a way it's compelling to watch. How is this going to turn out? Is anyone going to freak out? And when they do, you just think, can this have actually happened in real life? Did someone actually orchestrate this?
Well, they've orchestrated to do it, but obviously without the permission of the actual shop.
Yeah,
it's very funny. I think it's just what I think hidden camera stuff should be.
It's got over 1 million views in just 10 days.
It just got retweeted and retweeted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hey, it's the Best Buy uniform prank. I enjoyed it. I think it's probably one of the. Well, actually, you know what? Improv Everywhere are a great channel, and their stuff is always really, really good. Martinis.
I give that 3.
I think for the amount of people that they got to do that.
Yeah.
And the amount of uniforms they had to buy, at least. It's a lot of polo shirts.
That is a lot of polo shirts.
Have you ever seen the show Chuck?
No.
No.
Because they do a spoof on Best Buy on that called Buy More. That was just a
any more than
tangent. I'm a bit of a Chuck fan, so. Any messages within the message board for us?
Miss Michael says, yeah, knowing what was going on makes that one hilarious. And Elizabeth Oriana says that was funny. So big fans for Improv Everywhere.
It's one of those things you kind of wish you'd been there to see.
Yeah, it would have been. Actually, you would have wanted to take part with it, wouldn't you, as well?
Yeah.
Would you
play along?
Play along with it. So it's just the fact that they've got everyone. They've even got a kid there, and an old man, just people, and the genuine reactions of the people working the shop, trying to call security and calling the police, and the police just sort of looking bemused, saying, "Well, we can try and get rid of them, but we can't arrest anyone for wearing a blue polo neck shirt." Good. So 3 stars. Well, I think it's time for our web series of the week.
Well, do you know what I find fascinating about this web series of the week? This is the first time we've actually reviewed something from Felicia Day.
Yes.
Like the goddess, the geek, the red flame
the queen of web series,
geek goddess of web shows, and yet in how many episodes we've never touched upon Felicia Day.
Well, I guess because
now.
the guild had been running for several years, and so we're coming up to being about a year old.
Plus, I think there's a feeling with us that although the guild's just finished its 5th season,
that's right.
I think there's a feeling on us that everybody knows.
Everyone knows about it. What can we do to recommend it? Indeed, I mean, absolutely. So
for everyone who doesn't know who Felicia Day is out there,
okay, Felicia Day was an actress who probably her best claim to fame was having appeared on Buffy the Vampire Slayer as what was basically a red shirt. She was a Slayer in the background in the final season of the show. However, like most actresses, she had written a pilot that she was trying to a script for a pilot. She was trying to get TV series to be interested, networks to be interested, trying to push herself as an actress, and she just couldn't. It was a hard slog, like it is for a lot of people in Hollywood. So she struck upon the idea of chopping her pilot, her 50-minute pilot, into 5-minute chunks and filming it and putting it on YouTube, which hadn't really been done at that point. There was not really the whole thing of YouTube shows at that point. And the theme of the show, the guild that she did, was about people playing a MMOPG. It was massively
inspired by World of Warcraft.
Basically, to all extents, it is World of Warcraft, but it's just not called World of Warcraft.
Wasn't Joss Whedon involved in that?
Joss Whedon had no involvement whatsoever.
No? I'm reading the wrong things.
He then basically copied what she did with a show called Dr. Horrible's Musical Blog and got her involved.
That's the one I've been
with
reading
that.
about.
And since then, she's become like the goddess of the internet. Yet Hollywood itself hasn't really picked up
on her at all.
No.
She's got a recurring role on Eureka. The Sci-Fi Channel have been talking about trying to give her own show or something. They also did a movie of the week called Red, the Werewolf Slayer, when she played a descendant of Little Red Riding Hood, who's now a werewolf hunter.
Right.
But
still clinging on to that Buffy background.
But when you've got a show that gets 20 to 30 million hits per episode,
wow.
But Hollywood hasn't really hit onto it yet. The Guild, and it has got picked up by Microsoft, and it has very high production values. And now here we have, and I actually don't just think this is important because it's a Felicia Day show. I think this is important, this Dragon Age, because it's what we saw with Mortal Kombat, where we've got a games company, rather than spend money on television advertising is instead spending money on a YouTube show, because that's going to have more impact on the type of people who are going to buy their product.
Indeed.
And it's a better way of introducing characters that are going to be in the game to an audience. And this series was done to tie in with downloadable content for the game Dragon Age. So Dragon Age 2 is a role-playing game from a company called BioWare. They also did Mass Effect, and they've just got the latest add-on to the game. It's like £10 to download this thing, which will have Felicia's character on it.
So here's the trailer for Dragon Age Redemption.
Struggle is an illusion. The tide rises, the tide falls. There is nothing to struggle against.
Tell me, do you have to flirt all the time?
I don't have to. Victory is in the queue.
Dragon Age Redemption.
Have we seen a fantasy, Tolkien-esque fantasy done before? I can't remember.
There has been a series, a very, very popular series actually. It just hit 4 million views last week, I think, called Spell Fury.
Right.
And they did their first season around, I guess, 2008, 2009, and just done their second season.
But we haven't covered that one.
We haven't covered it yet. Yeah. No.
And it's actually, I found it quite interesting. There hasn't been a kind of like, because when you see all these, like you saw at London Expo and stuff, all these people who do cosplay and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And with what you can now achieve on Adobe After Effects and everything, I'm quite surprised we haven't seen a fan. But then again, I suppose there are more costs involved in doing.
There are more costs,
series.
and you need good locations as well.
Yeah, that's the first thing that hit me about this series. Is, I mean, I've only really been exposed to lower budget independent web series, and this really hit me that this clearly has a budget, and the effects and the makeup are just. Wow.
Well, this isn't a web series that's being done independently. This isn't a web series which is being done, by some people trying to launch. This is BioWare, the computer company, and Electronic Arts who releases. They approached Felicia Day and said, "We want you to make a show to promote our product, and here's the money to make it."
But then that brings me to my point, is that I don't know Dragon Age as a game.
Yeah.
And actually, I found it very hard to actually get into the story because actually there isn't that much of a plot. It actually is a very thin plot. It's just and it very much resembles a computer game plot. This character has to get to this point to fight this boss, this bad guy.
Yeah.
And that was essentially it. And there wasn't really much else to that story. It is very well made. It's very well put together. But unlike, let's say, something like The Guild, where I don't play World of Warcraft, and I don't even have that much knowledge of it, but because of the characterizations, because of Codex and all her friends, you actually care about them, you actually laugh at them and with them and care about Codex and her love life and everything around her. It doesn't matter that you don't know the games that they're playing, you buy into it as a series and as drama and as comedy. And this is what Dragon Age was missing. Actually, there's no characterization. You don't necessarily care who any of the characters are.
Yeah, you do feel like when you've seen all 6 episodes, you've only really seen a snippet of what this world has to offer. I mean, at the start of every episode, they do have, the rundown of
legends of the
legends, the folklore, and you do feel like this is a Tolkien-esque created world. You can tell it's a game franchise, but you only really get a snippet of that through a web series.
So you'd say that this is a web series that is more to appeal for those who are already
the Dragon Age fans,
than to actually drag in new people.
And if what you're saying is it was time to coincide with an add-on to an existing game,
it wasn't to do with the launch of the game; it was to do with an add-on.
Then all they're then appealing to is the people who already have that game, and just adding a bit more mythology to what they're about to play.
And who better to choose than Felicia Day? She's beautiful in this. She plays the character very well.
She looks quite elven.
She does. What more do you want? A real life version of your favourite computer game played by Felicia Day.
So we've got David Tom said that was an interesting point. Miss Michaels says agree about the guild, really enjoyed it. Sloopy John says he thought it was a cop out having the little bit of text at the start.
I kind of appreciated the text at the start, else
otherwise you wouldn't know what the words mean that they're saying. Karani, this or what.
They talk in jargon all the time, and you know the names of the various people in it. You just wouldn't get it if you didn't have that. So.
Miss Michael says it was really a bunch of trailer moments. And PK Gaydon says the look just has a very Xena Hercules thing going on, which I would totally agree with.
I totally agree. Very Xena
it does
Hercules
come across as an episode of Hercules in particular, in that it's there is a slight sort of campiness to the acting, I suppose. It was very much in that style. But yeah, it was it. I think if you're a fantasy fan, you probably will enjoy it. But I think outside of the Dragon Age fandom, I think it'd be very hard. It won't get the kind of overall views in something the Guild can do, because it doesn't have a crossover potential in the same way that the Guild has.
It made me intrigued to buy the game, to look at the game.
It's a good game.
I did have a look at it because, as a Lord of the Rings fan, that kind of thing does appeal to me.
Yeah.
But like you say, if you're not really into that, then it is kind of alienating. It's not very accessible.
It's on Machinima, youtube.com/Machinima, which has got to be, I suppose, like the biggest YouTube channel for any web series to be on. I think any web series on that is always going to get, hundreds of thousands of views. And that's, of course, the reason why, especially like Mortal Kombat, for instance, was also Machinima. These big companies who are making these web series which target the video game crowd give it to Machinima because it's got an established fan base already.
Even the term itself, that's I don't know if people are aware about, but Shimona is when you take a video game and you redub it with your own kind of storyline to it. So how it started out as.
David Tom's asking how has it done views wise. I mean, I think majority of episode average has been around 300,000 views.
That's pretty good.
Which is
not only the insane stuff we see for some of these, but that's still.
But not
good.
Necessarily.
It's better than the 50 views my videos get.
But it's not necessarily in the league of a lot of the stuff that's on the Machinima channel.
Oh no, and it's actually I don't even think that's in the league of the Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, the first episode had like 1 million views within 48 hours. And just started and it kept on growing.
Of course, the Mortal Kombat franchise, again, compared to the Dragon Age franchise, the Mortal Kombat franchise is a much bigger franchise. And I don't know about you, but I felt like the Mortal Kombat series had more money spent on it. I mean, that felt like, whatever you might think about the script, I felt production-wise and cast-wise, that felt like you were watching a TV.
But it had the production machine of Warner Brothers behind it as well.
Yes.
So really, it's just a 6-episode long advertisement.
Oh yeah, pretty much that's what it is. That's. I think you're going to start seeing more of that.
Absolutely
from products that are geared towards a teenage, especially a teenage boy market. I think you're going to see a lot more YouTube and internet shows because it's actually better and cheaper than advertising. What they're basically creating is an advert that you want to go and watch, and they're not going to have to pay to put it on TV for you to watch. They put it on the internet and you go watch it because you want to see it.
And cheaper than something like Tomb Raider, you know, making a big Hollywood movie.
I mean, even if you look at that Sony advert, the advert they did for the Sony PlayStation recently, which is probably one of the most enjoyable, best adverts I've ever seen. They haven't shown that on TV.
No.
They've put that on the internet, but because it's
I'm surprised I haven't seen it in the cinema, though.
Yeah,
actually.
but it's such a clever advert, they know they don't have to spend money on advertising. They just put it on the internet and people are going to go watch it and tweet it and retweet it and link it to each other. If it was just a regular advert, you'd have to put it on TV.
Or you'd have to put a cat in it.
Yeah. Because it's such a clever advert. And this is the same kind of principle. Rather than, you know, how much does an advert cost to make? And then how much does it cost to air
buy the time?
Or to buy the time.
Yeah.
This is a way of totally avoiding having to buy airtime. And most of the time when they buy airtime, 90% of the people who watch the advert on TV are not their target audience. This is a way of getting straight to your target. I think we're going to be I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see a lot more computer games. I'm surprised we haven't seen some comic companies, other things which are, you know, sports, whatever. We're going to probably be seeing more of this as a way of advertising product.
Yeah. Although I haven't seen it, Felicia Day has done a commentary episode for every episode of Dragon Age Redemption, and they're actually supposed to be very good as well. And for those who don't necessarily know too much about Dragon Age or what they're actually trying to get across in those particular episodes, she does explain it. So check out the series and maybe check out her commentaries as well. So for martinis for Dragon Age Redemption,
well, I want to give it 3, but I suspect that but then again, Felicia's a friend of mine, and she's cute, and plus I play the game, whereas you guys are
there you go, target audience.
Target audience. But we certainly look forward to interviewing her for those video guys next May.
Yes.
When she comes to the UK. You know what? If this was the Guild, it would definitely be 3. But I just don't think it quite has the edge that the Guild has to be a 3 martini web series. So I think 2 martinis is quite a fair rating for Dragon Age Redemption. So
are there any other computer games that you think would do good?
I'm just trying to think what in Dave and Tom Invention with Brian Fobbs could do for a computer game web series. I would like to see that one.
Well, as a child, I loved playing Discworld Noir, Terra Pratchett, of course, Grim Fandango, and more recently, Thief. The Thief series, Deadly Shadows being the most recent.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose there are, you know, quite a few things like that already, but Thief would be a good one. He's quite a cool character, and there's some good, you know, fantasy elements in there as well. Could work.
I'm sure we will see. PK Gaiden asks they should make Left 4 Dead.
Miss Knuckle.
And Mist from Miss Michaels.
Personally, I'm hoping out for Mass Effects.
Or you could take some really obscure app on the iPhone and make a web series based around that.
How about there is an app for a game on the iPhone called The Annoying Orange.
Yes,
they could do a web series about him.
Well, he's got a web series.
I know. I was being a bit meter there.
I know. David Tom says they have an idea for one: the series of Unfortunate Discoveries app on Invention with Brian Forbes. Sloopy John wants to see Assassin's Creed.
That is a very popular. I mean, when we were at
it was
London
very
Expo,
popular.
The amount I would say out of all the computer games, that was the one which had the most cosplayers. Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Which is that because is that the most popular game, or is that because you can't really cosplay with Call of Duty?
Well, Call of Duty is just
like a regular soldier.
Just get a regular soldier's uniform. Yeah. I mean, what's there to do? Assassin's Creed, I guess people like to wear the hoods.
Yeah.
There are a couple of Tomb Raiders.
And it makes people feel like a ninja.
Well, it wasn't like years ago when you used to, but again, I think Lara Croft's costume is very unforgiving on you as a girl. Sort of like you gotta have big boobs and long legs.
There weren't that many Laras, no.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Duke Tube. This is our new section for music-related videos that we've watched this week. And the first one is called, we have two this week, Jetpacks and Rollerblades by British YouTube channel KickThePJ.
If I had a jetpack, I'd circle into space, rollerblades on my feet and pencils in my hands. But skating on the moon is better in the morning, and I feel better when I'm drawing. So I'll draw myself a picture of a rainbow-tailed dinosaur, put him in a bowl, and I'll fill the bowl with milk. Suddenly everything's safe.
I really like this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so simple.
It's
so
simple, so beautifully made, beautifully shot. What I found really quite endearing about it is that this guy is obviously he's a young guy, but there's this nostalgia. It felt like a very old school nostalgic song and music video. Something, you know, this is, you know, he's like I said, when I say he's a young guy, he's like the generation now who've been brought up on computer games, and so they haven't necessarily had to amuse themselves as kids in the same way of building a cardboard spaceship.
Yeah.
You know, the type of stuff that, well, you know, you're that generation, but myself and Sean's generation, for instance, you know, when you used to build castles out of pillows, and
I remember I built myself a robot suit out of 2 boxes.
Yeah, I mean, this is it, and he's
got my arms out there,
this kid, he's managed to capture that feeling of nostalgia of our generation in a really lovely, charming, and quite endearing way. And I'd just say, you know, hats off to him, because I just think he's done a fantastic job.
And there's so many people that upload so many of their songs, you know, that they write, you know, just them with their guitar on YouTube, so many of them, and this guy's just gone that one step further, and he hasn't just shown you how talented he is, but he's constructed this whole set and this feel, like you say, of nostalgia. He's gone that one step further, and it makes all the difference.
Indeed, yeah, absolutely. Sleepy John, the slight sepia tone look to make it look nostalgic is very well done. And PK Gaydon says, hey, he built castles too.
Yeah, PK Gaydon's 22, the same as me, so he's saying, hey, we don't just play on computer games.
Yeah, no, KickThePJ, British channel, youtube.com/KickThePJ. Quite interested to see what else he's got on his channel, actually, after having seen that one.
Have you seen any other things on his channel?
They're not music video stuff. I've seen. I have seen some sort of he does sort of Q&As with his fans and stuff.
Oh, okay.
This is I think one of my favourite things I've seen of his channel, which is yeah, it's a lovely song, as Dave and Tom says in the chat room. A lovely song and very well done.
Yeah.
Rating for that.
Give it 3.
I think it
martinis.
deserves 3 martinis, because it's
pure effort.
Beautiful effort. Very well done. Very well post-produced as well. And we have a second YouTube song, and it's called Le Internet Medley. Okay, it's a song.
That bloody cat. That cat.
Now, it's called an Internet Medley. It's youtube.com/2 more sketches.
Claims got over 40 memes.
Yeah.
No, where did the word meme, whatever?
Where did it originate from? I actually don't know the origin of that word.
And for all those who don't know what one is, I had to Google it when I saw this yesterday.
And what did Google claim it was?
Something that goes viral on the internet.
Well, I also thought it was supposed to be something that's gone viral, but that you've taken, other people have started taking and altering themselves. It's not just that it's something that's big on the internet, but the people have, you put something on the internet, then other people have taken it and done something else with it.
I think you have to be really clued in to be able to spot all 40 of them.
Yeah, there are some people on there who have listed.
I just noticed that bloody cat I can't stand.
Well,
where did the cat come from then?
Nyan Cat. The origin of Nyan Cat. I don't know what the origin of Nyan Cat is.
That's another one to look up. So what would be like a really popular meme on
that cat that goes
well, there was a reference to Keyboard Cat.
And Rebecca Black is in that video.
Rebecca Black is...
They use her Friday.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, because as you see, well, I mean, I remember when I first typed in Rebecca Black, so well, she got 150 million hits or whatever. There was all other people who'd done parodies and stuff like that on it. And
even them playing with the leaks, and the leak is another one, which I actually clueless to what actually it is. You have to... I'm
clueless to how that cat goes.
You really don't like that, do you?
Oh God, Elazar got us to review that one week and I thought my brain was going to melt.
Hey, it was a thing. Internet medley. Either you're very clever and you know every single reference, or you just think it's just a cat lots of times. But of course, the way they've done the cat is that it's cat lots of times, but it's all in reference to other things as well.
Yeah, you'll recognise at least a couple. I mean, I'm not good at these things usually. I'm not a huge internet geek, but you know, like I say, you do recognise Rebecca Black.
Yeah, and Keyboard Cat was the one I recognised, even though there's no Keyboard Cat in it. It's just a ode to Keyboard Cat.
It's still very clever, the song itself.
And Rick Rolling, is it? Yeah. There's a reference to Rick Rolling in it as well.
So even if you don't know any of them, just the way it's done, it's
clever.
It's colourful.
It means they can also put each one of those memes into their tags on YouTube search. So if people are looking for it, they've got 40 different choices of memes.
What Rose explains why it got 5 million views in a week.
In 1 week. 5 million in 1 week.
As I say, the videos I put up on YouTube, they usually get about 50 hits.
Well, moving on, we've got to give that a martini rating quickly. 2 martinis.
Yeah, sure.
I think is probably fair to say. For the internet medley, youtube.com/Tomor Sketches.
Okay, now we're moving on to the video of the week.
Well, let's play a clip.
Channel 9 News.
Buono istenti.
Buono estenti.
Il headline news internazionali. Tumulto riding gasolina molotov in el Greece.
Greece is the word.
Democracy are under fire. Tumulto riding gasolina molotov in el Inglaterra.
Lib dem lib lembit OPEC blip blip.
Ton spocchi persone inglesi a dito nostra reputarias contra il rioting Inghilterra a Londra.
Okay, so this is The Fast Show, episode 1.
Popular shows on BBC at one
Yeah, so the history of this is that in between 1994 and 1997, we had in the UK on the BBC a sketch show on network television called The Fast Show, which was compulsive viewing for everyone. It was really one
Johnny
of the...
Depp was on it once.
On the very last Fast Show, that's the one episode I have seen.
Well, like I said, they did 3 series between 94 and 97, and then in 2000 they did the final ever Fast Show, and Johnny Depp was a guest star on that because he used to watch the Fast Show and absolutely loved it. It was a must-watch British comedy series, and 11 years later, after the last episode aired, youtube.com/Foster's the Beer Company have brought it back as a web series with the original cast, original writers, and in a sketch show format. That's one sketch. The first episode, it's 8 minutes long and it's got different sketches, bringing back all the favourite characters from the 1990s, and I think they might be introducing some new ones. I think this is quite a big thing. You know, this is, like I said, this was one of the big network TV shows in the UK, and it's being brought back. So it's this week it's been quite an exciting fan. If you've been a fan of this series, to have it come back, I think it's been really exciting.
And as a web series as well, not, you know,
as a web series, indeed. Yes, absolutely. Not for the BBC and not for TV. Suits you, sir. Sloopy John says absolutely. Dave and Tom, I'm sure you must have watched this before you went and left for Los Angeles.
You can see it in Los Angeles. I'm sure it shows on. You know.
No, I'm talking about the original series. They must have watched the original series before. So I'm sure you're glad to know that British humour back on YouTube. Really, really pleased to see it, and looking forward to many more episodes. To be honest, Channel 9 News always been a favourite. They've got Ralph and Ted in there. Instead of Tina Turner references, that's now Lady Gaga references. You were too young to probably watch the Fast Show originally.
Well, like
but
I
you
say,
did say
I saw the Johnny Depp
one.
episode,
Yeah.
so...
Okay, so let's have a rundown of what we had.
So let's give
this episode of
3 stars first for the Fast Show.
What's happened in the past 60 minutes? Well, first we reviewed Hall of Fame, our Hall of Fame review,
Potter's
and that
Puppet
was
Pals.
picked by Rachel. Potter's Puppet Pals.
Puppet Pals is a very popular channel. YouTube.com. Neil Sichariga.
115 million views,
and has spawned a whole series.
We gave it a full 3 stars. 3 martinis.
3 martinis.
Addictive is what it is.
Animation Station this week was is Song of Skyrim by Harry Partridge.
Huge popular
British animator. Absolutely
on
love
the
him.
show. We always give him good reviews on this because his work's fantastic.
He's consistent, that's for sure.
And once again, we're giving him 3 martinis.
YouTube.com/Harry Partridge.
Then we've got our comedy of the week.
Insane Staring Contest by Shay Kyle. You like this one?
I do, yeah,
it's the
definitely.
life of kids growing up.
Well, and their dad.
Truman Show for little kids, for real. 1 million subscribers. You watch it and you get their kids through
YouTube.com/Shay Kyle. 2 martinis for Insane Staring Contest.
And right, what was caught on camera?
Improv
Best
everywhere.
Best Buy uniform prank.
Indeed. Almost 1 million views in 10 days. Very funny. Get people dressed up in Best Buy uniforms and march them into...
We gave that 3 stars, didn't we?
We did. 3 martinis.
3 martinis.
Web series of the week is we reviewed Dragon Age Redemption
with Felicia Day.
YouTube.com/Machinima. If you like fantasy, if you like Dragon Age the video game,
if you like Felicia Day,
you'll love the series. We gave it 2 martinis.
And then we had JukeTube.
Our first JukeTube video was
this is our first one.
Jetpacks and Rollerblades by KickThePJ. Really, really lovely, nostalgic song.
Gave that 3 stars.
3 martinis.
And then you followed that with Internet Medley.
A song which claims to have 40 memes all in the same song.
And has that annoying cat going.
Nyan cat. YouTube.com/Tall More Sketches. Hey, 5 million views in 1 week. You can't complain with that. But we gave it 2 martinis.
And then the video of the week, Suits You Sir.
Suits You Sir.
The return of the Fast Show.
Suits You.
On YouTube.com/Fosters. Fosters have brought back a very popular British TV show to the internet this time, reuniting the original cast and writers. It's 3 martinis for the Fast Show. Go check it out. YouTube.com/Fosters. Thanks for joining us this week. For those who are Doctor Who fans, join us in a few moments for Doctor Who Talking Who.
Thanks for Rachel.
Thank you for coming in.
Join us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
As a video gal.
Hope you might come back again in the future.
I'm Sean Harry.
I've been Elzar.
This is
Rachel Wood.
And we are
those video guys.
And girls.
Oops, okay, here's the end credits.
Cue end credits.
Cue end credits.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
End credits there.
We need some end credits music.
We do. End credits coming up there.